Hi, this is Not the Girl Next Door show, and today I have Roses Unread with me. How are you guys today?
We're great. We're actually coming back through town and got me and John. So, we're just, just enjoying the summer and stuff.
So can you tell us a little bit about the band and everybody that's in the band and maybe how you guys met?
We formed 2007. We had a lot of member changes, and up to this point, we kind of got it where we wanted it. Don and myself, we started in 2007. Like I said, member changes, and we had this band called Stop, and they eventually broke up, and we scooped up their bass player. We actually had their drummer for a while, and he moved on. He's in a band called Through Fire now. You've probably heard of them. And we got Jed, which is the bass player, Jed Hood. He's from Corinth, Mississippi. Then when Grant went to Through Fire, we got another drummer, and he had a baby, family stuff, so we had to look for somebody else. I don't know if you're familiar with the band Persevere.
I think I've heard of them, yeah.
They're from Memphis. We played a lot of shows with them. Well, they kind of stopped doing their thing, and the guitar player, he formed another band. So the drummer was kind of just sitting around looking for something, and when Caleb, our last drummer, he exited, we're like, hey, let's try to holler at Rocky. He's not doing much, and we called him up. He's like, yeah, I'm willing to try. Let's see what it does, and it ended up working out just fabulous. So we've got really good lineup now and really good things coming. So we're very excited.
Yeah, now, Rocky. This is John, by the way. Rocky and Rocky and I actually grew up in Arkansas together. We're like neighboring towns and like right across the bridge from Memphis. So when people ask us where we're from, we just tell them we're from Memphis because that's the closest big city. But, Rocky and I have known each other for, like almost 15, 20 years. Yeah, like we're childhood friends.
Yeah. Kind of weird how that works.
Yeah, and when we were coming up in the local Memphis scene, I would always go watch his bands playing, and then he would always come watch my bands playing, and then when Roses Unread started, he would come watch us, and then when Persevere and Roses Unread actually started about the same time, and like Allison said, we did a bunch of shows together, and I've always been just a huge fan of his drumming, and we've always just had this really unique friendship. And as you probably know, the thing about being in a band is, the musical chemistry is one thing, and that's important, but that's only about half of it. And but the personal chemistry between members is just as important. Sometimes you could argue it's more important than the actual musical chemistry. And Rocky and Jed have known each other for years, and Rocky and Allison and I have known each other for years, and it just kind of, when Caleb, our last drummer, he's a great guy, great drummer, but he was driving like 3 hours to practice and 3 hours to he was driving.
Dedicated.
Yeah, he was driving to we call like our jam space where our studio and our practice room and everything is. We call that the headquarters. But he's driving 3 hours every week to headquarters and to load up for shows, and he just got to the point where he couldn't do it no more. Well, we had written an album over the last year, and Allison and I had written all the songs with our producer Dave, and between Dave and I, we had written all the drum parts and programmed them out. And Dave and I are guitar players, and we're not actual drummers. So when Rocky came in, he heard the songs, and he was like, I really like what you guys have going on, and I think we can do something big with this, and I think we can do even bigger things moving forward, like when we get this one put out and then we start writing for the next one. And he came in, and he basically took these songs, and he helped us rearrange them on the back end of them, and we already had studio time booked at American Studios in Memphis, which is this huge really nice studio that Elvis did some recordings in. Like a lot of big names have been through that studio. We already had the studio time booked and paid for, so when Rocky came in, I think we had like 4 or 5 practice sessions, and he learned the songs, and he went in and just destroyed the drum tracks, like in the best way possible. And I kind of went off on a tangent, but that's basically just to illustrate in so many words that he's the new face of the band, but it kind of feels like he's been around and he's been kind of sort of involved for years and years now. So we're just we really, really are proud of what we're lucky to have him. But we the album that we're premiering today actually, the music video for the lead single, and we put out a the documentary and everything yesterday. Yeah, and but we're very, very excited about it. It's kind of a new direction for us, but it's not, the intensity's still there. But we're really, really excited about it, and we're really interested to see how it's received.
Everybody's going to act to it, because it is very different.
Well, that's what I want to talk about. I actually, because, I know all your music from, what you guys had did before this one, and we're actually going to talk about that and my perspective on it. So the sound that you guys have now, how would you describe that to listeners that have never heard any of your music before? How would you describe that to everybody?
We started out as like an active rock band, and over time we got heavier and heavier.
Like
and
even metal screaming.
Yeah, we were doing, we had like 3 different screamers in the band at one point, and Allison singing. And, but now when people ask me what the band sounds like, I tell them it's like a hard rock / pop band that plays riffs, if that makes sense. But with Allison in the band, it kind of adds the pop element to the songs, with a, like we're huge Seven Dust and Chevelle fans, that sort of stuff, but we're also big R&B and pop fans. Like we did a Ariana Grande cover in like a hard rock metal version. We put that out. Was that the Ariana Grande song? Was that last year? Yeah, Ariana Grande
last year.
Okay. Yeah, so it's going off on a tangent here, but if I had to just describe it in just a few words or like a short sentence, I'd say we're a pop band that plays, heavy riffs.
Now, when I listened to the new music, I heard like the sound sounded darker and like definitely heavier but yet grittier than music I had heard from you guys before. Do you guys attribute it to you wanted just to change in direction, or is it because we have new band members now, or is it just the sound that you guys geared up and this is just what happened? So
it kind of just happened, but the thing was, I think with, getting Rocky, it changed the sound a lot, and he kind of saw what we were going for, which, not that Caleb couldn't do it or anything, but it was just that he just saw that we weren't going in a new direction, and it is a lot darker, and in my mind, the new single and the EP is called Rapture, and in a way, it's like, not that we're getting rid of things in the past, but this is just a new era, a new Roses Unread, and I think everybody's going to be able to see that just going back and listening to everything we've done, it is kind of like we've kind of raptured ourselves off and created something new, and the music video kind of goes with that also, and I think when they hear the rest of the album, it's going to all make sense.
And how was it going to film the music video? Was it something you guys enjoyed? Because I've heard everything from bands saying they completely cannot stand recording the music videos to they absolutely love it and have fun with it. Was it a great process for you guys doing the Rapture video?
It's very stressful, but in my opinion, to me, it's one of my most favorite things I love to do. I don't know what it is. I think it's about like creating a storyline and putting a picture to your music. I've always enjoyed that. Like up to this point, I've pretty much helped direct all the music videos, but Rocky actually had this idea for Rapture, and we went with that, which was kind of cool because it was always like ideas coming from my head. What do I envision when I, hear my lyrics and stuff? And then when we all started listening to the song, it was almost like we were all on the same wavelength, and it all came together. And but I love it. I mean, we had to change locations a few times, which is like has always happened with every video, it seems like. So there's always like that stress. But like when you actually see it and it's all done, it's just like, wow, we did that, and all the stress goes away, and you're like, okay, I'm ready for the next one, even though it is stressful.
Yeah, I feel, me personally, I feel like the end result, I feel the same as Allison, but the actual planning and shooting process, it was like when we saw the finished product, we were like, wow, that was worth it. But the actual process of it was super, super stressful, and it was just miserable. Like we were in a abandoned warehouse. We found this.
Which we found in our hometown, which was very nice. But we shot it when it was. We shot it
in early March.
But it felt like the dead of winter.
And you know how the seasons have been this year, where like winter kind of came in late. Yeah. Well, it wasn't. I think it was like 40-something degrees out, which isn't just awful. But we were in this warehouse when like the building, the ceiling was caved in a part of it, but the walls were insulated, so it was even colder inside. And
we were dressed warm, thankfully. Like our costumes we wore, they had like hoods and stuff on them, so we were like warm, and you had to act and act like you were performing, so that helped. But it was cold. I was cold. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was the actual shooting process was grueling. I think it was like a 12-hour from the time we loaded up and got to the warehouse to the time we wrapped up. We were just dead. It was like a 12-hour ordeal.
But I will say I enjoyed it, even though it was, because I like music videos. Like, everybody I talk to is just like, I hate the process. I mean, I'm like, that's my favorite part. I love it. It really is, though. It's just something about putting that music to like a picture, and you actually visualize it and see it. It makes it all make sense more.
We had a lot of extras come out. There's like 2 scenes to the music video, and there's one scene, like the story element of it at the beginning. And we had a lot of our friends come out and help, and they were extras. And we had one of the local restaurants here in town let us come in and use the restaurant and use some of their servers and stuff as props. And it kind of worked out. Like at the beginning, we had this concept for this video, and we're like, well, we want to do this. And if y'all go and watch the music video, you'll understand what I mean. It's hard to explain, and I don't want to really give everything away, but we had this concept, and we're like, how the heck are we going to do this? And it was cool how it all just kind of came together and worked out.
Like you see your vision, it actually comes true, and you're like, not that you're doubting it, but there's that stress, and when it all falls through, it's like, oh my gosh, we did it. It's a really cool feeling.
Me personally, this is the first time I've ever been a part in all the bands I've been in, and all the albums we've put out in the past and music videos we've done. This is the first time I can honestly say that everything turned out better than I wanted it to. And I've always been able to go back and say, okay, I was proud of that. I understand the work that went into it, and it was well received. But you never. When you have this original concept for music or any art form, you've always had this grand vision of it, and even if you get like 90% of the way there, it's still a success. But this time around, and we owe a lot of this to our producer Dave Cal, who's based out of Memphis. He really took these songs and did all the engineering and the production, and let us focus on writing and the performance aspect, which really helped. And this album turned out better than I wanted it to, going back a year or more from when these songs were first being written.
And I think it's a more mature album too. And going back to Dave, Dave, he brings the best out of me. Like if you listen to other albums, not like I said that they're bad or anything, it's more mature. Like just for the listener, like he helped me like pronouncing my words, like hitting like these high notes that I didn't think I was capable of. He was like, "You can do this," and I did. And I was like, I didn't know I could do that. And he was like, "I always knew you could," just bringing it out of you. And I think that was just with age and maturing, having the right group and people behind you.
I have to admit, it's like there's an added element, and like you said, not that the older stuff wasn't good. I think there's added layers now. It's like you guys, as you went along, especially with this one, you guys have added more layers than you had before, and and I think that plays into the heavier parts of it. And when I say it's darker, I don't mean it's darker like doom and gloom, but it's darker as in the heaviness and darkness, mixed together, I guess. I don't know. That's what I got from it, and I thought it was killer. So.
Yeah, it was meant like the EP album, whatever you want to call it. It's meant to be a narrative. It's a story of us and the people that were around us, and it's a snapshot of a piece of time in our lives, and there's a couple of songs that aren't written from a first-person perspective. Like a lot of the time, Allison will write from a first-person perspective based on somebody else's experience, and from there's a song that's written from the perspective of somebody very close to us, but some of the other songs. I didn't
realize I wrote it about that person. I was like, oh my gosh, I think I just wrote that, how people get in your head and just different scenarios. I was actually telling the person, I'm like, I think I wrote a song about you. I didn't mean to. and then she heard it and she was like, I think you did too. And I was like, you got in my head, and it ended up being a really awesome song, and it helped her too, because she was like, I needed that. I needed to hear that.
But there's a if you listen to the songs, like the album is meant to be listened to, like you put the CD in or you pull it up on Spotify or Apple Music, and you started at song 1, and song 1 is Rapture. That's the song that kicks off, and that's like coming from. And Allison, feel free to chime in. But to me, that song comes in, and this was intentional. It comes in, and your listener is in the darkest depths. Super, super bad place.
I will tell you, it's about me, like in a self-hate struggle with myself and, me and my demons. And I'm in a better place now, but I think if I wouldn't have written Rapture, I wouldn't be.
Yeah. And as the album goes on, it kind of reveals, you get to understand why everything goes back to that first song, and everything goes back to the concept of rapture. And you can take that theme, that concept, however you want to take it. It's meant to be interpreted any way you want. But you understand by listening to the other songs how we got to that place from the get-go, and at the end, it kind of leaves you on a lighter note. Like, even though all this bad stuff has happened and all this, we've gone through all this these bad times, there's always kind of a light at the end of the tunnel. That's kind of the central theme to this band, even through our dark themes and our heavy song arrangements and whatever else, and these lyrical content. The theme of this band has always been, life throws bad things at you, and life is tough, and life sucks for weeks and years and months and however long at a time sometimes, but there's always a way you can get out of that, and we're not afraid. We've never been afraid to be very open about, with our music, about where we're at in a particular time. Yeah, so like I said, the album is meant to be started at song 1, and you listen to the songs in that order. And the listener over time, over the course of the however long it is, like what is it, like 20-something minutes or something? It's not it's only 5 songs, but you understand in those 5 songs how we got to that point, and you'll end up feeling better. You know, you're kind of in a bad spot at the beginning, but you end up feeling better when it's all said and done.
Well, and I think that those are very relatable concepts. I mean, it doesn't even have to be pinpointed, you know, exactly what you guys are going through, but you're right. I mean, that's very identifiable with any listener that, you know, that's the truth. Everybody goes through dark times and dark things, and I think that's the thing that I love about music. I mean, some music is meant to set you feel angry and to make your anger, you know, relatable, or some is sadness, some is happiness, and everybody needs to just feel, and I think that's the brilliant thing about the music.
Yeah, definitely, and that's kind of what, you know, for me as a musician, me personally, it's always been about what made me want to start writing music and playing music years and years ago. And I always go back to how when I first heard, you know, Nirvana's Nevermind, or Thrice's The Artist in the Ambulance, or
Seven Dust Seasons, you know.
Yeah, you go back to those albums that really just did something special to you emotionally, and how honest a lot of those, like the artists we look up to, how honest they were in their music and how much they put into it. And for me, it's always been, my goal as a musician is not to make just a ton of money and to, you know, be a sellout, arena sellout, touring artist, which, you know, that's cool. Like, I'm not knocking anybody that does that at all. Like, we're all huge Taylor Swift fans. But how did you feel? How did those albums make you feel the first time you heard them? And to me, I want to be a part of something that makes somebody else feel as cool as those albums made me feel.
So as a reflection, when you guys get out there and you guys are performing live and you guys work your butts off, I know you have, and I remember talking to Allison before when we did an interview. I mean, you guys work really hard to get where you guys are. But when you guys are out there performing on stage and you see those fans singing your music and you see those emotions shining through, how does that feel when you guys are up on stage and you get to experience everything that you put your heart into come to light from the fans?
To me, there really is no better feeling, you know, and just that you stick the mic out and then, like, they're singing it back to you. It's like, I never thought I'd get to that point, but it's, you know, it happened. It's really neat. And we played a show in Texas, and one of our little fans, she brought a Subway, I remember, and we had a song called Set You Free, and she was like, please play that song. And I sang it, and she cried, and I cried. It was like those moments, and we had it on camera. But, you know, there's like nothing that can replace that feeling, you know. It's just, there's no better feeling than that. Somebody connecting so deeply with something you've written, you know, I can't even put into words.
I definitely see that. It's awesome to see band's perspective, and then me as a fan. I've been a fan of music all my life, and you know, you guys as bands, I mean, these fans listen to you guys, you know, day in and day out, and listen to their music. So I'm sure that's you know, you made her feel so emotional, and she had such a closeness to the lyrics and the music, I'm sure.
Yes, there really is no better feeling. Like, and I'm so ready. Like, our first show's back in July, what is it?
July 27th is when, and granted, we've kind of kept Rocky under the wraps because he's like a big name in the Memphis scene, and we've kind of kept it all a big secret up until now. But our first show with him is July 27th in Memphis, and so that's going to be that's going to be really cool. And then we're doing a bunch of regional stuff to start out. Like, we're doing a lot of Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, South Carolina. We're doing, like a southeastern regional type of run to start to end the year, I guess, since we're like in the second half of the year. But we haven't. I think the last show we played, last show we played was in October.
Now I'm missing it. I'm like, I gotta get on stage. I'm like, about that. I'm like, I gotta get up there. Like I'm fiending. It's like.
I'm sure. So for the rest of 2019, you guys have shows for cutting out the rest of the year. So basically, you guys are doing a tour of the Southeast. And then do you guys, without giving any details away, of course, do you guys have anything else going on? Do you guys have any more music videos that are planned to be released, or what do you guys have going on for the rest of 2019?
Well, we're kind of playing it by ear right now, and I know a lot of bands probably say that, but we're one of these, like, we never really stop working, and we always, it's kind of a blessing and a curse. It's like we're workaholics. Like, we're always kind of thinking, we always try to think, 5-10 steps ahead. So we don't have another music video shot, but we know what song is going to be the next single.
It's in our head right
and
now.
we're like in the process of figuring out who we want to direct it. Our videographer Seiji, who did Rapture and then the last two of our music videos. He's kind of taken a break from storyline-related music videos now, and he's focusing on his artists that just want to do strictly performance-based videos, which is cool. But that kind of, we wanted to do another storyline video. So right now, for our next song, because there's such a powerful story behind it, for the second single, which we haven't released yet, but we're kind of, for lack of a better term, we're kind of just going around interviewing different videographers and seeing who can kind of help us work this vision of this second single in. So when we start slowing down in the later part of 2019, we're going to be trying to jump in another studio and pump out
we pretty much already started writing again. I mean, like you said, we're workaholics. We never stop. Like, we've already got like 4 or 5 ideas just kind of blowing around. So we never stop.
We might, and by the time we put out another single or another album or whatever, it's like Clint Lowry from Seven Dust said one thing that kind of put everything into perspective. But he said, you hear a band that has a song, and he said there were 20 songs that came before that one, and that isn't the most real thing. Like, we've got 4, 5, 6, songs halfway kind of done right now in the demo stages, and who knows? Like, nobody may ever hear any of those because we may have to write 10 songs before we find one that will be a good lead single for the next album. So, we're even thinking, 1, 2, 5 years down the road. We're not, while being focused on what we have going on right now, because what we have going on right now is so crucial, and with social media, and we're a DIY band. Like, we schedule our own interviews. We do our own marketing. We have people that help us with stuff that we're not the greatest at. Like, we have a videographer, we have a producer. We have people that help us a little bit with marketing and booking. But for the most part, we're a DIY band, so we're always churning around new ideas. Like, we bought some new camera equipment to take with us on the road, so we can kind of give our YouTube and Facebook fans like a behind, like a regular update to like what we do on the road, for better or for worse, I guess. But
well, I think fans love that. I mean, me as a fan, we love to see the updates of what's going on. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's even if it's like us unloading and yelling at each other, and then Rocky and I in the front seat 3, 4 o'clock in the morning driving back to the headquarters or driving to the next gig, like drinking coffee and like, being mad at each other because, I messed up a riff or something during this. I don't know, just like throwing that out there. Like, just we're going to do our best to film all of that and post regular updates so people can kind of get to know us as individuals more, because to me, when I watch my favorite bands, I like to get to know them as individuals.
Yeah.
And it makes the music more relatable to me as a fan.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's something we've always wanted to do. And Rocky's really good at video editing, and we've got between Rocky and myself, we've got some pretty good camera equipment that we're able to do without having to hire like a team to do it, go with us everywhere. So that's kind of what we're planning for the next, the next few months, and as well as we got the marketing and all of that, and it's so crucial. As you probably know that better than we do.
Well, I think sometimes,
yeah.
like especially the younger bands, they get caught up in all of it, and you see bands like, for example, you see Nonpoint all the time. You see Elias, you see Rob. They're always posting, and it's like there's a reason why they are where they are. Fans want content, and I hate to say it, but like compared to 10, 15 years ago, I mean, people's attention spans are horrible. So even if it's just a 1 or 2 minute video, I mean, still that's drawing you in, keeping you relevant. So like they're not on to the next thing. Like, oh yeah, Nonpoint, So they're always keeping everything updated. So.
Right. Yeah. Nonpoint. I think I saw Nonpoint for the first time in 2001, and I've been a huge Nonpoint fan. Yeah, and I've always been a Nonpoint fan. My old band opened up for Nonpoint years ago, and it was probably one of the coolest experiences of my life. And they're the nicest dudes. They're freaking top-notch performers. They put on one of the best shows. I've seen them play big places. I've seen them play little bitty clubs, and they always. Yeah, they're such a band.
Man, he's so like, gosh, it was name right now.
Elias,
Elias,
yeah.
Elias.
Elias Sariano or something. Yeah.
You just have to listen to him, just like that respect.
And,
I'm gonna listen to you.
Dude, and they've got BC in the band. I think BC's done 2 albums with them now, and BC's old band I Empire. Allison and I were huge I Empire fans. We opened up for I Empire.
That was like extremely awesome. I was like,
yeah.
Whoa, I'm like, we're playing with I Empire.
Yeah, BC, who is one of my favorite guitarists in the world. He's in, one of my, a band that I've always looked up to. So, yeah.
And Corey Lowry, he was in that band too. That's
Corey was in I Empire.
Yeah.
Brother. Yeah. I mean, it was just a really cool experience, and that's like one of those things I'll never forget playing with them because. And DC, Donald Carpenter, that's his name.
Yeah.
Right? He is such an awesome front man too, and just to watch them and just take from it and, just learn so much. That's the coolest thing, I think. Like, not only are we playing with them, but it's like, let me take some notes. Like, what to do.
Right.
It's really neat. And after the show, he came and he was just talking to us. It's like we were, we'd known him forever, and he was just very inspirational. I'll never forget that night.
So when you guys when you guys share your stuff on social media, are you guys sharing on all social media? Where can people always find you? Where can people find your music, your merchandise, see the little clips of you guys fighting and having fun and being a family of music? So where can people find you?
We're on. We're individually. We're all on. Like all the big social media platforms. We're on, like I'm on Twitter, the band's on Twitter, the band's on Instagram. All of us are on Instagram individually and Facebook individually. The band's on Facebook, band's on YouTube. So, just wherever, like all the big 4 social media platforms, I guess. And we try our absolute best to get on there and interact and post daily. And we always we answer all of our messages. We read every comment, for better or for worse, I guess. But the people that engage with us and say, want you to come play my city, the people that say, I love this song, or man, I love the new album, I love the new T-shirt design, that lyric in that one song really speaks to me. Like, we engage and interact with those people because, to us, time, a lot of people, that's our dog, but to us, a lot of people value money, and money is extremely valuable, of course, but to us, like, time is the most important commodity you can give somebody.
Definitely.
When you take a minute out of your day to listen to this band, or any band, or watch somebody who's created a video, or you listen to somebody talk, you're given your limited time that you have that particular day, and that's one of the greatest gifts that you can give somebody, and we don't take any of that for granted. So if somebody takes time out of their day to engage with us and talk to us, like, we do everything in our power to talk back to them and, let them know, like, we appreciate the heck out of you guys for taking, even if it's 30 seconds.
Far.
Yeah.
Right. I've given up a long time ago, but it's, people like the girl in Texas and things like that just keep you going.
Definitely. Now, do you guys have a website? Like, where can people find your music and your merchandise?
We have a website, rosesunreadofficial. It's .com, right?
Yeah.
.com. I'm awful when it comes to things like that. He's like on the A game with it all the time. I'm like, it's changed a lot, though.
The rosesunreadofficial.com, we got a brand new website up, and it looks really good. And it's got a direct link to, you can stream the album straight from there.
So it's all our Instagram pictures.
Yeah, you can go straight, like, it's got a direct feed from the Instagram. It's got a direct link to our online store. It's got
tour dates.
The website's basically like the central hub. It pulls the Bands in Town app is probably the best place to go and find where we're going next, and it pulls that feed in, Instagram feed, the online store, the streaming. It's got a direct contact where you can email us our official, email address. Like, so that if you want to just go one place and find find us wherever you need to find us that works best for you, rosesunreadofficial.com, one word, no spaces or anything.
READ.
Yeah. UNREAD, like an unread book.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you guys for coming on the show today. Come back anytime you have new music, anytime you have news to share. But I appreciate you guys coming on the show.
Thank you for having us, Angela. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.